Well, hello, friends, and almost Happy New Year. Mindy Odlin here on the final What If Wednesday of 2022. So, to honor and to celebrate this year that we have been traveling down together, I'd like to close out the year this year with What If Wednesday with a special, my favorite ritual, my favorite meditation, my favorite ritual to conclude the year, to release what no longer serves, and to step into, to claim what is wanting to emerge for you in 2023. So today, something a little bit out of the ordinary, extra special. I want to share with you my favorite ritual. And what I'm going to do in our time together is first, I'm going to share with you what the ritual is and how it works, because I know for some of you, you may want to just take this process and then go do it on your own, in your own time, in your own way, and adapt it for yourself. And that's great. For those of you who would like a guided ritual, a guided experience, stick with me because I will take you all the way through it so that by the end you can actually have completed the process. And maybe you're watching live. If you're watching live, that's fantastic because I actually put the link down below where you can join me live in the studio and share what's coming up for you. I'm happy at the end, we'll do some what if upping. So if you have something you want to release and you'd like some brainstorming on how to do that, we'll do some what if upping live with those of you who want to do that as well. So question for today is, big question. What will you release to prepare for the new year? That's where this thing's going to begin. So we're beginning with a ceremony of release, and where we're leading into is what is called the white stone ceremony. Now, this is a ceremony, I do it every year, and it's a way of identifying a way of being, an identity that you want to step into as you move into the new year. So before we begin, I want to start with supplies. What do you need to do to engage in this ritual and in this ceremony? So first thing you're going to need as part of our release is something where you can identify what you want to release and let it go. So I'm gonna give you some suggestions here, some ideas. Sometimes it's just as easy as, get a piece of paper. I like a napkin because then I can burn it. So you're gonna write something down and then we're gonna release it. So if you want to burn something, you could have some paper, a napkin, paper towel, whatever, something you can write something down and then release it. Sometimes I will go, this is tricky for me because everything's covered in snow right now. But if you're in a climate where you might have some leaves in the backyard, it's also kind of cool to write what you're releasing onto a leaf and then let it go, give it to the wind, give it to the water. Or one of our favorite things to do in the What If Up Club is, we all had this came about during the pandemic where I don't know where you are, but hopefully you had some toilet paper. So you can even write it on a piece of toilet paper and then flush it. Like, what do you want to let go of from 2022? So that's where we're going to start in terms of supplies. Think about what you want to do, what makes most sense for you. I also keep my a marker handy. Sharpies are great. If you got a Sharpie, depending on what you're writing on, have something to write with so that you can write that on your thing and let it go. And then after we do the release ritual, we will also step into what is called the white stone ceremony. I'll share with you more about what that is. But what you need to know in terms of supplies is that you simply need a white stone. So you can get these at crafting stores. You can get them sometimes in the backyard. So there are people that use Jerusalem stone, that use special stones, but really the idea is it's just a white stone. It can be whatever size you want. I like having it be something that can fit in the palm of my hand. It can be, I've done it with crystals before, because they're kind of white, fit in my hand. So think about what you might want to gather up for that. You can also come back to it later if you want to, go find a special stone. You can write something down and then add to it later on. All right, so you'll need a white stone and you'll need something that you can write on that stone. So the kind of marker where Sharpies are the best, I think, in terms of making a permanent, something you can keep on that rock. All right. Oh, and Doris is here. Hey, Happy New Year, Doris. So happy I found your book and this group. We are so happy that you found us too, and glad you can be part of this New Year's. It's not New Year's Eve yet for me, but maybe it is for you. This is a great ritual to experience on New Year's Eve as you're preparing for all that good that is coming for you in 2023. All right. So first step is you gather your supplies. Second step is prepare your space. So if you are thinking this is your time, I love this week. I love this week between Christmas and New Year's, where it's just a time to get reorganized. For me, I get reorganized. I think about what I learned in the year, 2022, and then what I want to create in 2023. It's very intentional. For those of you in our community, we're going to go live on New Year's Day and do some visioning. So know that this is a ceremony for preparing for the year. Once that new year is here, we are coming out of the gate strong. And New Year's Day, I have a special visioning. What are we doing? Like a workshop that we're going to do. I'll go live here, and then we're going to go into our private community to brainstorm together. So that's really exciting that that's coming up. All right. So I have my my new holiday cranberry candle, which just smells amazing. So I'm going to create a little sacred space here. And I just invite you to, maybe that sacred space is simply just taking a breath. Just taking a breath. And allowing yourself to be in this moment and pampering yourself by taking the time to engage in ritual for the new year. So if you don't have a candle in front of you, I'm lighting this for you. I invite you to take a deep breath into it. Isn't it lovely? Oh, it smells really good too. All right. So we prepare our space, tidy up a little bit. I like to have order in my space and have beauty. Maybe you want to create a little altar, whatever you want to do, whatever makes it feel like sacred space for you, because this is a sacred time for you. Okay, so supplies, create that space. And that's it. So now I'm going to lead us into, let me share with you what we're going to do, and then we'll actually embrace it together. So I'll give you a chance to walk through the process with me. And then at the end of that, if you'd like to come on screen, come in the studio, let me know what you've been creating. Would love to connect with you and to what if up, what you're releasing, what you're stepping into for 2023. All right. So we're going to begin with a release. Now the release is identifying what is that thing that maybe you've been carrying along in 2022, and maybe for a while that thing served you in a positive, powerful way, but maybe that thing no longer serves you. What is that thing that you've got going on that you carry with you in your consciousness, and it is time here as we close out 2022, this is the time to let that thing go. Now, as we step into our ritual for release, 3 things I want to guide you through. The first is, whenever you release something, whether it is self-doubt, self-judgment, fear, scarcity, not knowing, not enough, not good enough, like any of those things that maybe you've got going on in your consciousness, and you're aware that it pops up, it creeps up, and you know that it's not going to serve you in going where you want to go. Those are the things we're going to release. But here's the thing, before you release it, a couple things to keep in mind. One is to know that everything about you, everything about what you think and how you are, all those thought patterns, all of those things that you do, those old habits, they all came together. The reason you have them is they all, at one time in your life, the intention was positive, right? The fear that we have, the intention for that fear is that it keeps us safe. It keeps us from making huge mistakes. The self-doubt might keep us from going too fast. It might make us research things a little better or dig into things with a little more depth. All the things that we do, all the thoughts that we think, all of them originated with a good intent. And so this is not about pinching off a part of you that is bad. This is letting go of something that once served you, that now it has served its purpose. It no longer has a purpose as you move forward. So this is not about identifying what's wrong with you and to stop doing that. This is a process of identifying thoughts that maybe they're thoughts that are full of limitation and scarcity and not enoughness. But before we pinch them off, we're not judging them as bad. We're giving thanks for them. So 2 things: identify what it is that you want to release. Identify the positive purpose that thought or that way of being or that habit, the positive intent of that. How has it positively served you? And then before we release it, to send it off with gratitude because it did serve us in a positive way. How do we let go of those things with gratitude? So that's number 3. And then we will release it and step into what opens up. What opens up when you release those limitations, when you release that self-doubt, when you release those thoughts that no longer serve you, what opens up? And we're going to step into that for 2023. And that will be the second part of our ritual. The other thing to keep in mind as you do rituals of release is that we are not releasing a person. We're not releasing even a situation. Like what happened, happened. The people in our lives, we don't want to pinch them out. We don't want to snuff anybody out. So this is, if you had something that happened to you or around you or something you're observing, it's not about denying something that happened, and it is not about obliterating someone from your consciousness. This is not about releasing a person. It's about releasing a way of thinking about something. It may be releasing grief. It may be releasing judgment. It may be releasing resentment. It may be releasing something that you have put in that relationship between you and that circumstance. But it is not about changing the past and pretending it didn't happen. And it is certainly not about eliminating or snuffing someone out of our experience. It's about changing us. It's not about changing them. It's about changing us. So once you've kind of got grounded in what is it that I'm here to release, now we can go into the ritual. So if you haven't had a chance to get your supplies yet, whatever, just grab a piece of paper, grab something to write with. It doesn't have to be difficult. It can be really, really easy. So I'm going to guide us into a meditation. And you can do this on your own if that works better for you. But if you'd like to follow along with me, then I'd love to have you along for the ride. And after we complete this ritual, then I'm just going to open it up. And if you have something that you want to share, what will you release? What are you going to release to prepare for the new year? I'd love to hear from you. We'll hang out together. All right. Are you ready? Let's do this. All right. So I invite you wherever you are to claim the sacredness of your space, to let this is like your sanctuary, your inner sanctuary, that we go into this space mindfully, consciously, intentionally. So I invite you to take a deep breath into this space. And as you release, feel any tension, any anxiety, anything that you're holding that feels tight. As you breathe out, let that out. And as you breathe in, feel the openness, the expansiveness, the freedom that comes with each breath. Deep breath in, hold it at the top for just a little bit, and then breathe it out. And with every exhale, feel yourself relaxing, releasing. If it feels good to move or to wiggle or to shake a little bit, feel free to do that. And then third breath in, deep breath in, opening, expanding, allowing, feeling yourself opening to not just what you know, but what is known, all the omniscience, all the omnipotence of the universe. Imagine yourself, your mind, your body, your heart opening to that in this moment. Hold it. And as you release it, feel the peace, feel the openness, feel the expansiveness of being here in this moment. And so in this moment, as we celebrate and honor the year of 2022, we take this moment first to give thanks for this year, to give thanks for the very fact that we are here, present in this moment. We give thanks for all the experiences that led us to this moment. And as we reflect on 2022, we think back on all the things that challenged us, all the things that caused us to grow, all the things that made us stronger, and all the things that perhaps we're still working through, perhaps we're still processing, perhaps we're still finding our way through them. So we bring all these into our conscious mind. And as we reflect on all of our experiences, all of the learnings, all of the accomplishments and achievements, all of the setbacks, all of the failures, all of the hardship, all of the suffering, and all of the sorrow, and all of the joy. As we think back on the allness of this year, we listen to what is ready to be released. What are the things? What is the thought? What is the way of being that feels as if now, as we lead into this new year, it feels as if it no longer has a positive purpose in our life? It has fulfilled its purpose. And we may now gracefully, joyfully, gratefully release that thought, release that way of being. So I invite you to take a moment. We're just going to go a moment in the silence so that you can discern what that thing is that you are ready to release, and write it down. Write it down on your paper, write it down on your flush it. We're going to just write it down now. Just write down what is that thing that you are ready to release for 2022. Put it on your paper, put it on a leaf, put it on something that you can let go of. Identify it. Write it down. I'm going to take a few moments in the silence so that you can discern what that is. And feel free, if you're watching this as a recording, you can pause this, take as much time as you need. If you need more time, you can always come back to this as well, right? So deep breath in. And there's the question for you. What will you release? What will you release to prepare for the new year? Take a few moments to think about what that is for you. Write it down. And once you have it written down in front of you, take a moment and look at it. Look at that thing that you wrote down, whether it's self-doubt. For me, second guessing myself. I think I'm done with that. Maybe it served. Of course it served for a while, or I wouldn't have done it. It served for a while. But maybe it's time now to let that thing go. Maybe it's time to flush that old thought so that I can step into the next level. So what is the thing that you are letting go of? What is the thing that you want to release or burn or send down the river, floating down the river? What are you ready to let go of? And before you let it go, to take a moment to hold it in your hand, to think about how that thing has served you, and to fill your heart with gratitude. To be grateful for those things that you're releasing, because you know that it served you, it served a positive purpose at some point in your life. Ready? Okay, so feel that gratitude, feel it opening and expanding, feel that heart, giving love to that thought, that way of being. And now, in whatever way feels right to you, we're going to let that go. So I'm going to take mine and literally flush it. I'll post this for you. I'll let you see the flush. Bye-bye. Or you can burn it, and put it in your fireplace, or let it drift down the river. Here I have fear. No more fear. Let's let that go. Let's let that drift away. Take a moment to wave goodbye, send it adieu, not with anger or bitterness or resentment, but to let it go, just like you would let go of, it's like you would say goodbye to a friend that came into your life with a gift for you. We say goodbye. All right, give you a moment and take all the time you need. You can always go back and do this in your own way. So after we've released something, the beautiful thing about release is that when we let go of something, it creates a vacuum. It creates an opening. It creates a spaciousness where we can then create that next thing. We can create the next level. And that is where our white stone comes in. So there is a ritual that I've done for almost 20 years, maybe more. It's called the White Stone Ritual. You'll see it a lot in New Thought churches. And if you haven't heard of a New Thought church, you can go Google that. I'm sure there's lots of ceremonies going on here as we head into the new year. The idea of this, it actually comes from a scripture. And the scripture is from the book of Revelation, chapter 2. And this is the inspiration for the White Stone ceremony. What the scripture says is, let anyone who has an ear listen to what the Spirit is saying. So if you have an ear, listen. There is something calling to you. A new year is ahead of us, and something is calling to you. To everyone who conquers, which means to everyone who is overcome, these things that we're flushing, this, to everyone who overcomes, I will give a white stone. And on that white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. So that's the scripture. It says, let anyone who has an ear listen to what the Spirit is saying. To everyone who conquers, who overcomes, I will give a white stone, and on that white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. So historically, what this scripture is referring to is a tradition back in ancient days where when someone was imprisoned for something, when someone was in bondage, once they had served their time, once that sentence was complete, then they would be released as a free person. And the way they could show that they had done their time and that they were now free is they would be given a white stone with a new name on it. And that represents for us, what are the ways that we have been in mental bondage? What are the ways that we have imprisoned ourselves through our own limiting thinking or through our own habits or ways of being that had scarcity embedded within it? And what if in this moment we were to release ourselves from that, like we just did? We just released ourselves from the bondage of old thoughts, old patterns that maybe obviously at one point served us in a positive way, but no longer. So now we are free to step into something else. And what is that something else? What is that new space that you're stepping into? What is that new identity that you're stepping into? And that is what this white stone represents. What is it that we are choosing? What is it that Spirit is calling us and we choose to say yes to? What is it we are being called into for 2023? Now, I've done this for many, many years. I'll share mine after we go through the ritual, just so you can see some ideas. But I encourage you, if you have a white stone in front of you, to hold it in your hand. If you don't, then find one, go through this again, and hold on to it. Feel the coolness of it. Allow yourself to sit in the silence with that stone so you can feel the energy of it and feel the intentionality of it. And sit in the silence with your stone. I'll do this now. Take a deep breath in. And as you sit with your stone, to recognize that you are being called into a new year with a mighty purpose. That for all that you have released, something new is coming into your experience, something expansive and something good. And you are being called into it. And what is that thing? What are you being called into for 2023? What is that new name? In biblical days, whenever someone experienced a new name, when someone was given a new name, it represented a shift in consciousness, right? So when Simon becomes Peter, it represents a shift in his consciousness from Jesus asking, "Who do you say I am?" And he answers, and he's like, no one revealed this to you. You knew this, and therefore you get a new name. A new name biblically means a shift in consciousness. So what we're doing is we're taking that idea and saying, as we step into this new year, what is that name? What is that way of being that I am stepping into? What's being given to me? Maybe I'm being called to be bold, or maybe I'm being called to experience abundance or hope or faith or love or inclusion or what could it be? A messenger, a teacher, a healer, an artist, a prosperity. What is that word for you? Is it hope? Is it faith? Is it love? Is it friend? Is it mother? Is it partner? What is that word coming to you? So I invite you to take a moment in the silence. And if you have a stone, just hold it in your hand and connect with it and ask what is wanting to be revealed in you, through you, as you hold this stone. And once you hear, the scripture says, let anyone who has an ear listen to what Spirit is saying. Spirit is speaking to you. And if you have an ear, listen. What is it calling you to do, to be, to step into? What is that identity that you are being called into for 2023. And once you know what that word is, then if you've got your Sharpie handy and you've got your stone, I encourage you to write it down. Write down that word so that you can hold on to it and claim it. Right? So take a moment in the silence to listen. And once you hear it, write it down. And breathe deeply, connect deeply. Feel that expansive love moving through you. Feel that calling that is leading you into the new year, calling to you, speaking to you. What is it saying? What is that word? Write it down. And then once you have that word, I invite you to take that stone and set it in front of you and look at it and meditate on it and feel what that name means. Feel what that means at an identity level. I am love. I am hope. I am faith. I am a partner. I am, in my case, this is from 2019, I am a messenger. What is the I am of that? And as you feel it, I invite you, when you really feel it, when you feel the congruence of it, that I am that, then I invite you to claim it, to hold it, to reach out and grab it and hold it as your truth. This is our intent for 2023. Now, I have to admit, I haven't done my 2023 yet. This one's 2019 was messenger was the word that came to me. I'm not sure what year this was, connector. I am a connector. This one I got last year and it's joy. And this one I didn't even write, it just came to me. I have 1 year, 2018, spiritual leader. What is it that comes to you? I'd love to hear from you. So you can post in the comments. You can share what your word is. You can share what you released. Or if you want to, I even have the link down below. So if you want to pop into the studio and share what's up for you, what are you releasing? What are you stepping into? And we can do some what if upping. So if you're not sure what if upping means or how that works, I encourage you to join our What If Up community. It's at whatifup.org. It is, we're a nonprofit organization. You can join us for free and get the idea of identifying what you want and then expanding the possibility around it, or identifying a challenge that you're ready to overcome and expanding possibilities for how to get there, how to be in that. So, I love it. I see lots of joy. So thank you for joining in and for posting your comments. And if you'd like to obviously come in with me, feel free, or you can also go into our community. So we have a brand new for 2023 community app where you can go in and you can say, here's my word for 2023. Here's what I'm releasing. Here's my word. And what we do is we what if up, which means we take an idea and using the question, what if, in a positive direction, we expand possibilities. We breathe expansiveness and life into it. A lot of times people use the question, what if, to pinch off things. Well, what if it doesn't work? I have this big thing. I have this thing I'm releasing, but what if it doesn't work? What if I can't? What if it, whatever that thinking is, that old thinking goes down the spiral. We don't do that. We call that what if downing. We do not what if down in this community. We are what if uppers. And we have a culture that is designed to take that thing that you want, that thing that you've identified, or even the thing that you've released, and to be able to, in our sharing, create possibility it's possibility around how to get there, possibility around the way of being, possibility on when to take a break and when to be in balance. So anytime you have something as you step into this new year that you would like support with, whether it's, we've had people say, hey, I'm going on a date and I haven't been on a date in a long time. I could use some what if upping. And the community will just rally behind you and share all kinds of positive ideas for your mindset, for your actions, and for what's possible from stepping forward in inspired action. So that is my hope for you as we head into 2023, is that this way of being that you have identified, that it is empowers you to do that which you are called to do. We are here to support you at every step of the journey. And next Wednesday, January 1st, is our visioning workshop. So we'll be here. We're going to do a 1 hour live session through our online communities, through our social media, through YouTube. And then we're going to take the party into our community so that we can work on things together. We can vision together. You can create your vision for 2023 and do it in a community where you can share and you can what if up possibilities with each other. It's going to be next Wednesday. Is that, no, that is Sunday, isn't it? Sunday is the 1st. So yes, Sunday the 1st at, let me see, I think I already have it scheduled, 12 o'clock Eastern time. So 12 to 1 Eastern time on January 1st, which is Sunday. Thank you for asking. Sunday, we will be live on YouTube. YouTube is the best place to watch, but you can also watch it on our Facebook channel as well and in the Facebook group. After we go live, and I kind of download, like, here's how it works. So you can go off and do it on your own. But I have found in the creative process, and I'm an introvert too, so don't be thinking I'm an introvert, this doesn't work for me. What I have found is in the creative process, this is introvert's perspective. What I love is to understand the process, to initiate the process in group, to then step aside and have my introverted solo think time to reflect and have it come truly from within, and then to bring that inner work into small group where I can expand those ideas. And sometimes I find that what's coming through me is like I get the seed of it, and then when I come together with others, that seed takes root really, really fast. And I start seeing, like, this is more than a seed. This is, I start to see the entire blossom. I start to see the possibility of what it looks like coming into fruition. And in community, not only is it easier to see the vision of that, but it's actually fertilizer to make that seed grow faster. So I hope you'll join us on New Year's Day, Sunday, January 1st, 12 o'clock. We'll kick things off here, and then we're going into our community. So if you're not part of the community, now's a great time to sign up, whatifup.org, and you'll get into our private online community where you can introduce yourself, and we'll have a little watch party in there, a little work session to hang out, and literally like a New Year's Day party. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining me for this special edition. This is one of my favorite rituals of the year, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I can't wait to see what you created. So I think I'll put a challenge into our community space to, once you get that white stone, or once you flush whatever is yours to flush, to post it in our community so that we can celebrate with you. So thank you so much for being here. Happy What If Wednesday. I'll see you next Wednesday in this new year as we take it to the next level. It's going to be a great one. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.